Yeah, all of you scan this QR code for the attendance. Is I audible? Is my voice is audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Scan this QR code for the attendance. Okay, so let's start the session. So today we will going to start a new topic. Okay, so that's process synchronization part. As we do the lab sessions, I will discuss the later on. Okay, what whatever part we left with that. So we will talk about the module 3, which is your memory management. Okay. So basically, when we talk about the memory management, okay, so we will deal with how the memory is going to be managed. So as we know that if you understand the computer system, ठीक है, अगर हम लोग computer system या architecture को देखेंगे, so what we are having, basically we are having two important things. Fine, one is your CPU. Fine, one is your CPU, which is basically perform your processing, whatever processing you need. Okay, whatever processing we need, that is performed by the CPU. Then another important thing that we will have, that is called memory. Yes or no? We will have memory, where we will going to store our data. Okay, where we will going to store our data. So if you see in a computer system, अगर कोई भी सिस्टम हम लोग लेते हैं, कंप्यूटर सिस्टम को देखते हैं, देन उसमें दो इंपॉर्टेंट चीज होते हैं. एक आपका होता है सीपीयू, which is totally responsible for your all your processing part. But second important thing is your memory, where we will going to store the data. So now the memory management, okay, the operating system, if we are saying the memory management, now it is a job of operating system to manage the memory. Manage the memory means how we will going to store this data, okay, in my memory, so that we can use effectively. Okay, our ultimate motive is, final motive क्या है, goal क्या है, final goal is, now we have to store this data or manage this data such a way that it can be used effectively. Okay, so when we will talking about the memory, then three things comes to the mind. First of all, it is size. What is the size of the memory? That means now size is important criteria. We can say these three criteria is very important. Okay, the first criteria is size. Okay, the second criteria is access speed. Second criteria is your access speed. Okay, access speed, or how fast we can access the data from the memory. Fine. Now, third thing is your cost. Okay, so whenever we talk about the memory, so these three criteria is very important. Okay, so first of all, the size. What will be my size? It will be limited or it will be more. Second one is access speed. How fast the data can be accessed from the memory. And third one will be what will be the cost of my memory. Fine. So if you see this criteria, okay, if I see this criteria, now what is preferable in case of memory? Is the less size memory is preferable or large size memory is preferable? कौन सा better है? The size should be
Large size memory.
large size. Okay, the large. Okay. Similarly, access speed. Okay, access speed should be what? It should be less or more. To accessing the data from a memory, it should be less or more. It should be more. High होना चाहिए, ठीक नहीं? The access rate, how fast we can actually, if I say how data is accessed, now what will happen whenever a CPU, now suppose this is my CPU, okay, carefully listen what is how actually it is performing. So what happens whenever a CPU executing some program, suppose the CPU is executing some program P. Now, as we know, the program is nothing but set of instruction. Okay, so as we know that the entire program cannot be loaded to the CPU. So I will load by instruction. Okay, so whenever a new instruction is required, now this CPU gives a request to the memory. Okay, now this CPU gives the request to the memory. Fine. Or I can say, or we can say, now whenever data is required, it will going to access from the memory. And the time required to access this data, that means whatever data, suppose the variable x is needed. Suppose the CPU is required a variable x, value of the variable x. Now suppose the value of the variable x is stored here. Now what will happen? Now it will give a request message to the memory that I require a value of variable x, which is equal to suppose 5. Okay. Now what will happen? The time required to giving the instruction and again fetching this instruction is called access time. Okay, this is your access time. That means how much time it required to access the data from the memory. Okay, this is called access time. So access time should be less or more? It should be less. Okay, whenever we talk about access time, the access time should be less. It should be small. Okay, that is preferable. Okay, if the memory is having the less access time, then we can say it is good memory management. Then the cost, what should the cost? Cost of the memory should be high or less? It should be again, the cost should be less. Okay, now if we talk about the different types of memory, if you may already study computer architecture. So if you see the hierarchy of the memory, सबसे पहले कौन सा होता है? The memory which is there, which is called registers. Yes or no? First of all, there is a register R. Let me represent R. Then there will be a cache memory. Okay, there will be cache memory. Then there will be a main memory. Fine, there will be main memory. And there will be a secondary memory. Is this the hierarchy? You already know? Yes or no? ये hierarchy होता है ना, memory hierarchy आपका?
Yes, sir.
Then there will be a secondary memory. Fine, there will be a secondary memory. Fine. Now in between these two, there is one more memory called virtual memory is present. Okay, we will talk about the virtual memory also. Okay. So this is entire hierarchy. If you draw the hierarchy structure, it will be like this. Okay. In between the main memory and secondary memory, there is a virtual memory. So we will not talk about virtual memory at time being. We will talk about this one. So if you see this hierarchy of structure of memory, okay, ये hierarchy structure देखेंगे अगर, अब मुझे बताना, आप ये 3 पैरामीटर याद रखना, ठीक है? So what is the size of register? Size of register is very less, है कि नहीं? As we go down, what the size will be? Size will increase or decrease? As we will go down the hierarchy, size will be, what happened to size?
Increase.
Size will be increased. Okay, so we know that registers are very less in size, okay, very less in size, or we can say the register are something around 32 bit, only 32 bit से लेके आपका 64 bit तक ही है, ठीक है, आज के डेट में आपका 32 bit या 62 bit का है. Then cache memory is some KBs में रहता है, okay, some KB. Now if you talk about main memory, it is now in TB, or we can, sorry, it is in GB और 4 GB बेसिकली आज का डेट में हम लोग लैपटॉप या सिस्टम लेंगे, इट इज अप टू 8 टू वी कैन से एक्सटेंडेड अप टू, if you talk about supercomputer, it will be up to 32 GB. But if you talk about secondary memory, it will be in TB, terabyte में है आजकल. Okay, so as we can say, as we go down, okay, what happened? The size of the memory hierarchy will be increased. Okay, similarly, what will happen to the access time? What will happen to the access time? Access speed or access time. So as we go down the hierarchy, memory hierarchy, what will happen? Access time increase or decrease? Now this is for speed. As we go down, this is for size. Okay, this red line for size. This is for this green for the access time. Now red line, as we go down, the size will be increased. Okay, increase. So what will happen to access time? What will happen to the access time? So how much time is required? Suppose CPU, now if you break this one, now if you break this hierarchy, okay, now what happened? CPU first of all directly contact whenever is required a data. जब कभी भी CPU को आपको डेटा चाहिए, डायरेक्टली वो कहाँ सर्च करेगा? आपका लोकल रजिस्टर में सर्च करेगा. Okay, this is my register. You will having some register accumulator, different types of registers, na? So it will be first search in register. If it is not found in register, then it will look for in cache memory. Okay, it will look in cache memory. If it is not find data in cache memory, now it will be looking in main memory. Okay, now it's looking in main memory. If it is not going to find in main memory, then definitely it will find in the secondary memory. Fine, this is my secondary memory. So first of all, whenever the CPU is requiring any data, okay, suppose CPU is requiring the value of X. Now first of all, it give request in a register. If the register में आपको X का value नहीं मिलेगा, then it will give a request to the main cache memory. Okay, cache memory. If the cache memory में भी आपका नहीं मिलेगा, cache memory is for data which is frequently used. Okay, suppose X is frequently used, so what will do? I will store in a cache memory. Now, if data is not found here, now will I find in main memory. If data is also not found in main memory, so what I will do? I will go for the secondary memory. So what will happen here? Now, the time of access is differ here for all the memories. Sabka memories ka time access differ hai. Now it will be something in 1 millisecond. Suppose this is 1 millisecond. It will be some 10 millisecond. And accessing the data from the main memory will be something 100 millisecond. Okay, this will be 100 millisecond. And accessing the data from secondary will be something around 10,000 millisecond. Okay, clear? So how data is accessed? First of all, it always look for the register. Why so? Because it is required less amount of time to accessing the data directly. सबसे पास में रहता है ना, वो डायरेक्टली डेटा एक्सेस कर सकता है. तो यहाँ पर उसको बहुत कम टाइम लगेगा. फिर अगर वहाँ नहीं तो कैश मेमोरी में सर्च करेगा. सपोज वी आर अज्यूमिंग कैश मेमोरी इज दिस मच, देन प्राइमरी मेमोरी और मेन मेमोरी बोलते हैं हम लोग, देन सेकेंडरी मेमोरी. सो व्हाट विल हैपन? सो एज वी गो डाउन, द एक्सेस टाइम विल बी increase or decrease? Yes,
increase.
the access time is going to increase. Fine. Now the third criteria, which is your cost. Now tell me what will the cost as we go down? Cost will be increase or decrease?
Increase, sir.
सबसे अधिक किसका होता है? Cost will be decrease or increase?
Increase.
Cost will be decrease. Okay, it's not increase, decrease. Because now why cost will be increased? Now suppose you want to buy a RAM, okay, ठीक है, RAM खरीदना हमें, suppose RAM of 1 TB, cost of RAM of 1 TB and hard disk, secondary hard disk of 1 TB, which will be higher? किसका प्राइस ज्यादा है? एक 1 TB का RAM अगर कर देंगे हम लोग, that is not possible till now, it is not in available. Suppose you want to design a RAM of 1 TB and hard disk of 1 TB, secondary memory of 1 TB. So which will be cost higher for you? Which is higher in cost? Obviously, the RAM that we are design of 1 TB will be much higher in cost. Okay, so as we go down the hierarchy, the price will be decreased. Okay, so this is something about the memory hierarchy. Okay, but this is not a part of operating system. So ये आपको जरूरी था, क्योंकि आपको अगर आप मेमोरी मैनेजमेंट के बारे में पढ़ रहे हैं तो आपको मेमोरी हायरार्की के बारे में पता होना चाहिए. So I hope so this is clear to all of you, memory hierarchy, about the memory hierarchy. Yes, is it clear to all of you? So three things you have to remember. First of all, the size. Second is access time. Third is cost. Now this is my hierarchy structure. First of all, the registers are there, then the cache memory, then the main memory, then the secondary memory. Okay. Now in point of operating system or memory management, so we will not talk about this cache memory. Okay, fine. And we will not talk about this CPU registers also. Okay. So for the operating system or for the CPU, okay, for the CPU point of view, 1 minute. Okay. Now for the point of view, अगर CPU के point of view से देखेंगे, there is only one memory is available, which is called your secondary memory. Okay. So whenever a data is required, okay, whenever a data is required, the CPU will generate a address. Okay. The CPU क्या करता है? आपका address generate करता है, which is your logical address बोलते हैं. क्या बोलते हैं हम लोग उसको? Logical address. Now this logical address will be associated with the secondary memory. So what the CPU understand? The CPU will generate, suppose this requires the value of x. Okay. Now CPU को पता है कि x का वैल्यू कहाँ था? सेकेंडरी मेमोरी. तो वो सेकेंडरी मेमोरी का एड्रेस जनरेट करता है. Now CPU is expecting the data, or the CPU is expecting to access the data or fetch the data from secondary memory. But what is the drawback here? If every time the CPU is going to what? Communicate with secondary memory. So what will happen here? What will the drawback here? The drawback is, what is the drawback here? Can anyone say what is the drawback? CPU क्या बोलता है? CPU saying that there is only one memory. For the CPU point of view, he doesn't understand about the register memory, cache memory, main memory. उसको क्या पता है? एक ही मेमोरी है वहां पर जो कि सेकेंडरी मेमोरी है जहां पर डेटा स्टोर है. तो जब कभी भी CPU को आपको कोई भी इंस्ट्रक्शन चाहिए, okay, whenever it is instruction, so it will generate a logical address. Okay, it will generate a logical address which is associated, okay, associated with secondary memory. But there is a problem. If every time the CPU communicate with the secondary memory, and we know that the access time of secondary memory is something, कितना बोले हम लोग? We are assuming that is 100 milliseconds. And we know that the CPU speed is around something around 3.2 gigahertz. Agree? That means it can at per second, okay, at 1 second, it can perform 3.2 to the power of. So what will happen here? Let me write 3.2 into 10 to the power of 6 instruction per cycle. Now this is the speed of the CPU. Okay, एक सेकेंड में CPU कितना इंस्ट्रक्शन एग्जीक्यूट कर सकता है? This much instruction कर सकता है. But अगर every time the CPU will communicate with here, so what will happen? Now it should wait for 100 milliseconds. Okay, it will wait for 100 milliseconds. So what will happen here? So what the problem is, if every time the CPU is directly communicating with secondary memory, the CPU efficiency of CPU utilization will be degraded. है कि नहीं, कम हो जाएगा efficiency जो था CPU का वो कम हो जाएगा. Now waiting time of the CPU or ideal time for the CPU will be very much higher. Fine, getting my point? क्या बोल रहे हैं हम? CPU हमेशा क्या करता है, लॉजिकल एड्रेस को जनरेट करता है जो हमेशा वो सेकेंडरी मेमोरी को रेफर करता है. बट यहाँ पर एक प्रॉब्लम है, अगर हमेशा CPU अगर सेकेंडरी मेमोरी से कम्युनिकेट करता तो क्या होगा, यहाँ पर द वेटिंग टाइम ऑफ CPU बहुत ज्यादा हो जाएगा. व्हाट इज व्हाई? बिकॉज द एक्सेस टाइम और डेटा time required to fetch the data from secondary memory is much higher. Fine. So what we will do? So we will use the concept of main memory. Okay. So now what I will do? So instead of communicating with this secondary memory, so as we know that now, very important concept. As we know that a program is nothing but, what is a program? We know that a program is nothing but set of instruction. Yes or no? Suppose this instruction start from I0. Suppose this instruction is having 1000 code. Okay. So I know that the program will run sequentially. Now assume that currently if instruction number 200 is executing. Okay. So what the next instruction will going to request? Now I know that the CPU is going to request the next instruction is 201. Next instruction will be 202. Next instruction will be 203 because the program will run sequentially. So what I will do, now suppose this is my entire program. Okay, this is my entire program P0. Suppose I'm naming this program is P0. So what I will do, so before executing this program, so this entire program को हम लोग fetch करके कहाँ store कर देंगे? Main memory में. Okay, now I will store this in a main memory. So entire this P0 will be stored here. Okay, now what will happen? Now instead of communicating with its secondary memory, okay, now instead of communicating with the secondary memory, now this CPU will communicate with this main memory. अब वो क्या करेगा? Secondary memory से communicate नहीं करेगा. वो किससे communicate करेगा? Whenever data is required, now it is going to communicate or search for a what? In a main memory. Why? Because I know what program is executing. जो भी प्रोग्राम रन हो रहा था हम उसको पहले ही लाके कहाँ रख दिया, हम लोग मेन मेमोरी में रख दिया. बट देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम. व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम? नाउ CPU is generating the logical address. Now this is my what? This is my physical address. Now this main memory address क्या आपका? The address of the main memory is your physical address. Now I have to convert this, or I have to, in between that, what I have to do? I have to convert this logical address to physical address. Okay, so first of all, what you have to do, whatever logical address we will generate, that logical address should be mapped, or I can say this logical address. Now suppose this address of, starting address of this one is 100. Okay, but it is stored, यहाँ पर आपका मेन मेमोरी में कहाँ स्टोर हुआ है? यहाँ 500 से स्टोर हुआ है. Now आपको यह स्टार्टिंग एड्रेस 100 है, तो लास्ट एड्रेस क्या होगा? 1100. Yes or no? Because instruction are 1000 instruction are there, therefore assuming each instruction is 1 byte. Now यहाँ पर कहाँ पर स्टोर होगा? If it is starting from 500, it will going to end somewhere around 1500. Okay. Now what I have to do? Now it will generate. Now CPU will be generate what address? Now suppose very first instruction. So it will be generate the 100. Okay, address of 100 because this is my logical address. Now I have to convert this logical address should be converted to what? Physical address, which should be your 500. So that I will use some methodology to convert this logical address to your physical address. First of all, now who will going to convert this one? Who is responsible? Now this operating system is responsible to convert this logical address to the physical address. First of all. Second of all, how this data, how this program, this P0 को हम लोग यहाँ पर स्टोर करेंगे, वो कैसे आप स्टोर करोगे? Whether it is stored continuously, okay, or whether it is stored non-continuously. That means all the instructions are stored in continuous fashion, or all the instruction can be stored. Suppose I will store some like this. Suppose this is my main memory. Fine. So what I will do? So I will store partial P0 instruction number Suppose 500 instructions are stored here, rest 500 instruction will be stored here. Now this is non-continuous. Okay, non-continuous means the entire process program, okay, entire program are not stored in a single place. Now this is continuous because the entire program is stored in one single place. This is continuous allocation, and this is your non-continuous allocation, because non-continuous means if the process are not stored all together. Okay, now these two things. Okay, first of all, how you convert this logical address to the physical address. Then second thing is how I can bring this, okay, how this data from secondary memory can be stored in your primary memory, that is in a contiguous manner or non-contiguous manner. So this two tasks is called, or basically this two tasks is performed by the operating system. Okay, and one of the solution, okay, one of the major problem with the, we can say, contiguous solution, contiguous allocation is your external fragmentation problem. Okay, external fragmentation problem. That means external fragmentation say even though there is enough memories available, we will not able to store that program. So we'll talk about that. Okay, that is the reason we will go for the non-continuous allocation, where we will going to use two important technique. One is called your paging. Second one is called your segmentation. So these are the two techniques that we will going to use, okay, for solving the memory management technique or memory allocation technique. So is it clear to all of you? If you are having any doubt regarding this? Yes. So this is is it clear to all of you what I try to explain this introduction class of memory management? Because this is very important. Okay, first of all, you understand what is the hierarchy of memory, then why we need a main memory. Okay, why we need a additional main memory, or we can say why we need a cache memory, or why we need a register. So only because to improve the efficiency of the CPU. Okay, so that the access time, we must reduce the access time. Okay, and for the CPU point of view, there is only one memory, which is your secondary memory. So it will always try to communicate with secondary memory. But what will happen? What will happen to reduce the time or improve the efficiency? We will place in between secondary memory and main memory. There is a primary memory or main memory, where we will going to place the program which is currently executing, so that whenever the data is required or whenever the instructions required, the CPU will now directly interact with the what? Your main memory, not with the secondary memory. But there are two problems. Problem number one, first of all, you have to convert this logical address, which is generated by the CPU, to the physical address, which is mapped as a main memory. Second thing is how this data is translated. That means whenever you translate this program from secondary memory to primary memory or main memory, how this translation is performed. That is whether it is performed in contiguous manner or whether it is performed in non-contiguous manner. So is it clear to all of you?
Sir,
Yeah, go ahead. Boliye.
sir, due to network issue, I am unable to give my attendance. Sir, can you please share the password again?
Okay, I will say just wait for another 2-3 minutes. Okay. मैं लास्ट में शेयर करूंगा लास्ट 2 मिनट में. तो अभी बताओ इसमें कुछ डाउट है क्या? अभी जो इंटरेक्शन पार्ट बना है, बिकॉज आगे जो ये समझ में नहीं आएगा, फिर आगे का कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में नहीं आएगा. डू यू हैविंग एनी डाउट रिगार्डिंग दिस इंट्रोडक्शन पार्ट? नो?
No, sir.
Okay. So now we will going to discuss this two thing. One, first of all, क्या पढ़ेंगे हम लोग? दो इश्यू के बारे में पढ़ेंगे. पहला आपका हो गया कैसे ये लॉजिकल एड्रेस को फिजिकल एड्रेस में कन्वर्ट करेंगे, दूसरा आपका जब हम लोग सेकेंडरी मेमोरी से मेन मेमोरी में डेटा को लेके आएंगे तो उसको कैसे स्टोर करेंगे, कंटिन्यूस या फिर नॉन कंटिन्यूस. ओके, नॉन कंटिन्यूस या फिर कंटिन्यूस. So first of all, we will study about the continuous allocation and non-continuous allocation. Then I will explain how we will convert this logical address to the physical address while in different paging techniques. Okay, paging and segmentation जब आप लोग पढ़ें. तो उससे पहले मैं छोटा सा एग्जांपल एक्सप्लेन करना चाहेंगे. What is Yeah, so let me explain a small example of what is the advantage of continuous and non-continuous with respect to your linked list and array. Now, as we know, suppose this is my array. Okay, now if this is my array, so how the memory is allocated in array? Array में memory कैसे allocate होता है? Continuous and non-continuous. How the memory is allocated for the array? In case of array, okay, so whenever you are using the array, okay, so the memory allocation will be in continuous manner. So what is the first benefit? The first benefit of continuous memory allocation is accessing the data is very fast. Suppose I say, if I give the base address of this array, suppose the base address is this one. Now if I ask you what is the address of this particular block, now you can easily say, suppose this is integer type array, now each block will be 4, now it will be 100, starting address will be what? 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 116. This starting address will be 116. This is one of the major advantages of the continuous memory allocation because the access time will be very fast. But what is the drawback here? The drawback is if it is continuous location. Now suppose, now assuming that this is my continuous location. Now this, suppose this part of this is occupied. Okay, this part of array is occupied. Now suppose assume the size of this will be something around 100 KB. Okay, 100 KB. Entire size is 100 KB. Now suppose this part is occupied, which is your 10 KB. 10 KB of memory is occupied. So how much is left? How much is left? So suppose this around this there is 40 KB is left. Okay, and left of it is 40 KB is left. Fine. Now assume that there is a process P. Okay, now assume that there is a process P which is required 50 KB, which is required 50 KB. Okay, so now there is a process P in a secondary memory that I have to load in my main memory. But now what is the scenario main memory? Now the main memory has a 40 KB of block which is available and another 40 KB of the block which is available. Okay, so how much memory is required? 500 copy, 500 KB. But there is not contiguous. So can I store this for 50 KB in my this main memory? No, this is not possible. But what is it? Because as I have to store this process in continuous manner, all this 50 KB stored at one place. Okay, so as we are not able to store this 50 KB at one place. Okay, so it is not possible to store this 50 KB. But is there 50 KB is available altogether? Altogether, how much memory is available? Altogether, there is 80 KB is available. Total 40 plus 40, 80 KB is available. How much you need? How much you need? 50 KB. But still, we are not able to store this 50 KB. What is the reason? Because this 50 KB is not in continuous manner. And this is a problem. What is the problem? This problem is called external fragmentation. This problem is called external fragmentation, which will be arise in case of your continuous memory allocation. Okay, this is called external fragmentation. What is external fragmentation? There is enough memory is available, but there is not in continuous manner, so that we cannot able to store this process in my main memory. Okay, memory available कितना है? Memory available आपका